Good evening to those who will listen. It is January 7th, 2026, 10:03 p.m. And these are going to be some possible Bible changes in Malachi 4, Luke 3, and Luke 24. But when I was reading Malachi, because Malachi 4 is the last chapter in the Old Testament, and it goes to the New Testament. So just so everybody sees what I have for the King James Version, this translated out of the original Greek and with former translations diligently compared and revised by His Majesty's special command. So this is the authorized King James Version. And this Bible itself was printed in 1994. And I guess the copyrights are there of the Concordance, 92 and 94. But anyway, it's from 1994. So it's older Bible, at least. I mean, we're looking at what, 30 years? 32 years? I just found a couple things, and I'm not sure on some of these if they're changes or not, but they just stood out to me. So whenever I say there's Bible changes, let me just always say they're possible. Unless you see yellow and blue. If you see green, then I'm not sure, but then again, maybe somebody else will be able to say, yeah, I remember it, whatever, whichever way. So verse 2 says, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness. And the Son is spelled like the sun outside, not Son of God, Jesus. I don't know if that's a change or not. Oh, I did want to say down here, this is not a change, which is good, but I wanted to note that Elijah the prophet's here, and instead of Elias, that's a lot of the changes, like in the New Testament, it'll say Elias the prophet, which refers to Elijah, but for some reason they're using Elias instead of Elijah. But there's Elijah. Wow, there it is. Okay, and over in Luke 3, we got Esaias, which is supposed to be Isaiah. So I know sometimes they say, oh, it's used, they're used interchangeably, but it should be Isaiah, not Esaias. At least that's what I think. That's bleed through. And I'm not sure of this one, but it don't seem right to me. He answereth and saith, verse 11, he answereth and saith unto them, he that hath two coats, let him impart to him that hath none. And he that hath meat, let him do likewise. So it's talking about two coats, and now we're talking about meat. But, so it's saying to impart one of them, and it's not plural in here, it's just meat. So are they dividing meat up? I think I've had this before, but I just never. But now I got my color-coded system, so I'll be able to go back and see, whenever I see something and question something. All right, verse 16, I think I've done this one before, but it's been a while. John answered, saying unto them all, I indeed baptize you with water, but one mightier than I cometh, the latchet of whose shoes I'm not worthy to unloose. There was no shoes. I don't even think the word shoes, I'd have to look it up, if it even existed in 1611. Okay, so it says, I put this in the search, when was the word shoes for shoes? For the 12th century. So shoes wasn't around when Jesus was alive, but by the time this version came out, they could have switched it to shoes. But the latchet, shoes don't have latchets, do they? Hold on, let's check this out. Okay, interesting. So we got 13th century for latchet. So it's derived from the Latin word lacertus, meaning noose or cord. So I was going to say latchet. See, I thought latchet was kind of like a something that snaps together or something. I don't know. But noose or cord would be something like shoestring, something like that, I guess. Then in Luke 24, which is very interesting, this whole chapter is very interesting. Now, first verse, now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning. I never heard. I don't remember. I don't remember ever seeing very early in the morning. It's always something like at the ninth hour, at the sixth hour. But very early in the morning. That seems odd. And then verse 15 all the way through verse. Oh, I got to make more because it goes all the way to verse 32. It's pretty much the whole chapter. Well, that's just most of the chapter. So this whole chapter, I don't remember it, but I do, since when I first read this and saw this, there was when Jesus was resurrected on the third day, there were two men that were walking. Let's see who's two of them, just as two of them went out. So I'm guessing two of the disciples went out, and while they were walking, Jesus appeared to them, and they didn't know who he was. But it says their eyes were holden, which is another weird word, holden, that they should not know him. So they walked with him. How far was it? There it is, 60 furlongs, which is about 7 miles. So they walked with Jesus, not knowing it was him, for 7 miles. I don't remember that, but okay. So I put that all through there, the whole thing. But when they got to the village, they constrained him. What? Constrained sounds like they bound him up in ropes or something. So there's another possibility. But then that whole thing is kind of, I'm wondering, I don't remember that in there, but again, I don't know. What do you guys remember? Do you remember that story where two of the disciples were walking with Jesus right after he was resurrected, and then they didn't know who he was until after they got into town, and they sat at meat, and then he broke the bread, and suddenly their eyes were opened. Weird. Oh, and then also too, just a little bit later, so they went and told the rest of the disciples and everybody what happened, and then suddenly Jesus appeared again. For he just disappeared. So their eyes were open, and then they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. Poof. And then and as they spoke, Jesus himself stood in the midst of them. Just suddenly was there. And then, behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me. Handle me? That don't sound right. And then verse 46, and said unto them, thus it is written, and thus it behooved Christ to suffer. Behooved? And there's your behooved. Wow. It means to have need of. Okay. So, I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. All right, so there we go. There's the Bible changes. Thanks for reading along, watching the video. God bless.